Hello everybody, welcome to Technique Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you how to make this TeaBag Fold card. It's a lovely 3D way of using your designer series paper. It adds an extra super dimension to the front of the card. And it's actually just 8 folds of the same and then you connect them together. So without further ado, let me get started. I'll just pop the original off to one side so it's try and keep it still in the same shot. So what we need are, I've carefully done them because I didn't want to have you sit and watch me fold things again and again and again. So I went ahead and did a few of them. So it's a piece of shaded spruce and it's 11 by 4¼ scored at 5½. So it folds in half and as usual fits inside a standard envelope. It's then the 1/4 inch, it's the 1/8 inch smaller. So this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, just to give it a bit of an extra big border. And then this one, I do believe, let me just make sure I'm telling the truth. Yes, it's 3 3/4 by 5, but you need 2 of those, one for the inside because this is a dark cardstock base. You want your recipient to be able to read what you've given. So we'll just pop those quickly inside. As always, of course, the directions and the dimensions will be in the description box below, but I do like to just give them as we go along. This is a bit smaller than we would usually put inside, but so there was no confusion as to which piece of basic white was which one. Cut them both the same. If anything, it's an 1/8 of an inch shorter on the inside. I don't think the person who gets your card is going to think, that's a bit small. So we'll set that off to one side for now. And then what we need are 8 pieces of 2 by 2 designer series paper. All the same. You can do them whichever way round you use. There's so many lovely designer series papers out there right now. This one is the Joy of Christmas and I just like this one. I like it as well because when you do TeaBag folding, the patterns get moved around a little bit, and this wasn't particularly a dimensional paper. You can do it, you just have to be a little bit more careful. So what we do, we take the piece of 2 by 2 cardstock and we fold it diagonally in half and give that a crease with the bone folder. Giving it a good crease is pretty important. And then we're going to fold it the opposite direction and again give it a good crease. So we've done that with what I'll call side 1 peeking out. What you then need to do is fold it in half against itself so you can see the other side. But this is the square, well, the angular, it's a rectangle of course, not triangular. We want it to be a rectangle. And then what happens is when you push on these, see that they just go into, it's a pretty basic origami move, but if you've never made one before, so fold on the diagonal, fold on the opposite diagonal, and fold away from yourself so all the straight edges meet up. And then when you press it, it's going to become a cute little triangle. So let me just move the base out of the way for now. And this is how you build them. What I also did, you can do it without anything. I'm not that confident. And you can put sticky tape on the back. Again, I kept having to stop and I went all fingers and thumbs. So what I found the easiest for me was to just put one little glue dot on the right hand side triangle. So you slip the backing off and then hold this one so it's the flat edge is horizontal, and take one where the flat edge is on the diagonal and you just pop one, you see, pop one inside the other up to the point, and that little glue dot will just hold onto it for you. And then you turn it round so the next one has the horizontal line. Pop on a glue dot, which is, I've already done mine just for ease. Take the backing paper off and get the next one and put them between they're trying to hug each other, and push it up and press it down, and that little glue dot will just hold it in place. So again, straight edge, take off the backing paper of the dot, put another one on diagonal and stick it down. Just a word, these won't go completely close together, and there will be a little space in the middle. You can't, the way the fold is and the amount of designer series paper that's in there, you can't have it non-existent. There will be a little dot, and if you notice on the original, I've conveniently popped a little red sequin on there. So again, straight edge, take off the glue dot, pop the next one on and hold it in place. So now it's gonna, say it with me people, straight edge, take off the glue dot, line it up, straight, see it's still moving a little bit because all we've got is a little glue dot to sort of help us. And actually, you know, while I'm busy, I'm going to pop on the last glue dot. Where is my little stylus? I'm just going to pop that on just because that was the one that we folded together. So again, we're getting very close to the edge, to the end. So pop that into place. Now, what you need to do when you've gone all the way round, you can take that glue dot off and we can pop this one here into its place, but you don't want these two pieces going together. What you have to do is slip that one under, so you've got the same pattern going throughout. So we've got a glue dot on there, just need to tuck them all tightly together as we can get them, and then stick them down. And then we'll classify this as the front, we'll flip it over, and then I am going to just pop a little bit of Scotch tape, sellotape, sticky tape. Actually, I know I joke in some of my videos about the blue Peter, and here's one I made earlier. Well, the big brand of sticky tape in England is called sellotape, but they weren't allowed to advertise as they did things, so they always called it sticky tape or sticky back plastic. So there's always a generic name, so some generic something that will stick your TeaBag Fold together, and then we're going to pop it onto the front of the card. But before we do that, we need to do some stamping, and it's always best to make sure that your stamping is right before you've stuck a precious work of art down to it. So I'm using the Christmas classics. I'm going to use the Happy and the Christmas. So Christmas goes on in real red because it coordinates with the paper, and then we'll bring in the Happy, and because it's a clear stamp we can see through, and pop the Happy in place. This one is a little bit closer. I did actually put them together on the same stamp, because on the same block rather, but even though it was close, I still felt it left a bit of a gap, which is why this time I split them, so we've got two of them slightly closer together. And then you don't really want to be sticking things down when it's bulky necessarily. So what we'll do is we'll bring in the real red to match the ink and the colours in the designer series paper, and we'll pop that layer on. And then again, because we now know this is safely stamped correctly, we can pop this onto the front. And then we just need to pop our fabulous creation on. And because it's a little bit bulky, what I'm going to use is the tear and tape. It's like a torture. There is an end on this somewhere. There it is. So we'll just cut ourselves 3 pieces of extra sturdy tear and tape. I would recommend that you use something sturdy because of the weight of it and the bulk of it. It just might have the thought to try and escape and pop off the front. So we'll peel the backing paper off there. We'll pop it into place. So now it's definitely on, and the only thing we have to do now is to disguise the hole in the middle. So I'm actually going to use the lovely loose holly gems and sequins. These were new in the holiday mini catalogue. These are, look at it, it's just, there are hollies and music notes and big sequins and little sequins. Fabulous. So we're going to use one of the bigger red sequins. I'm actually going to take some of the larger glue dots. These I get from Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin have the most generous amount of glue dots and dimensionals and all that sort of thing. So typically those things that you see me using in my videos have actually come from Paper Pumpkin. You can buy them in the catalogue, and if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, my first question is, why not? I'll put a link in the bottom. Please feel free to join me, because me and my Paper Pumpkineers, we do have some good fun. So I've popped one of the larger glue dots that I received, and then I'm just going to pop the red sequin in the middle, and it disguises it. And then we do have in the catalogue red rhinestones, basic jewels. And rather than wrestle my way through this lovely loose sequins, which of course I could do when I've got them laid out nicely on a little backing paper, I thought I might as well just use the ones that I've got. So we'll pop just a few, just to give it a nice little aura of bling. And just scooch those off to one side so they're not in the final shot. And there you have it, TeaBag Fold. It's not too complicated. You do have to sort of pay attention and make sure you've got the straight edge and the diagonal. And like I said, I found it infinitely easier if I just put a little dot of adhesive. You could use your rolling adhesive, but I had the glue dots. It held it together, so I was confident that it was going to make the full floret by the time I got round. But again, I would also recommend that you use the tear and tape to stick it on to the background. Please subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love that. If you ring the bell, you'll get a notification when I've posted another video. I like likes. I'll always try and answer your comments and your questions. If you would share me, I would consider that the biggest honor. I have the best fun doing these, and this year the holiday mini catalogue is just second to none. So go ahead, if you look on my website, there's a link to it. If you've got anything that if you would like one, please email me or message me on my website. The more fun we can have together, the better I think it's going to be. And last but not least, thanks so much for watching.